Good morning, dear students. Welcome to Bridge Course classes. I am Bhagwan Reddy, lecturer in mathematics. In Bridge Course, we are going to explain in detail of some topics which are useful in PUC. Okay. For example, in 10th class, we studied about trigonometry. So there you studied briefly of the trigonometric functions only, like the definitions of six trigonometric functions and the values of the trigonometric functions. Some simplifications only you studied in 10th class. So the extension, what you need for in a PSC. So we are going to explain those. Like coordinate system is there, geometry. Coordinate geometry is there. There you studied only the distance between the 2 points formula and the section formula. So like this only you studied in 10th class. So in PUC, so you have more extension of those topics. So like which are useful for PUC. So those topics we are explaining in detail. Okay. So in this video we are discussing about coordinate system. Coordinate system is nothing but Cartesian coordinate system. So what is the Cartesian coordinate system? Cartesian coordinate system andre ಏನು? What is the Cartesian coordinate system? See, consider two mutually perpendicular lines. Consider two mutually perpendicular lines in the plane. Then these lines are called coordinate axes. Then these lines are called what? Coordinate axes. The horizontal line is called x-axis. The horizontal line is called x-axis. The vertical line is called y-axis. The vertical line is called y-axis. The point of intersection of these two lines. These two lines, they are intersecting at one point, right? These two lines, they are intersecting at one point. That point is called origin, denoted by O. So this is the coordinate system. This is the coordinate system or Cartesian coordinate system. Okay. Now you see these two mutually perpendicular lines. That means coordinate axis, right? That means coordinate axis. These coordinate axes divides the plane into four parts. Then each part is called quadrant. Each part is called quadrant. What is the definition of quadrant? Two mutually perpendicular lines, nothing but coordinate axis. The plural form of axis is axis. Okay, axis. The mutually perpendicular lines are coordinate axis. Divides the plane into four parts. Then each part is called quadrant. Namely, first quadrant Q1, second quadrant Q2, third quadrant Q3, fourth quadrant Q4. Okay, this is the first quadrant, this is the second quadrant, this is the third quadrant, this is fourth quadrant. What is the definition of quadrant? The mutually perpendicular lines. The mutually perpendicular lines divides the plane into 4 equal parts. Then each part is called quadrant. Each part is called quadrant. Namely, first quadrant, second quadrant, third quadrant, fourth quadrant. That is Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4. The quadrants we are getting from anti-clockwise direction, not clockwise direction, opposite of the clockwise direction, anti-clockwise direction. Okay, this is the quadrant. You see here, so this is x axis is the horizontal line, y dash is the vertical line. Alright, so you see x axis which is right side of the origin, x axis which is right side of the origin is called positive x axis. Positive x axis. What is the definition of positive x axis? X axis which is lies right side of the origin is called what? Positive x axis. Called what? Positive x axis. Which is lies left side of the origin. Which is lies left side of the origin. Then this is called negative x axis. Negative x axis. Okay. So OX is the positive x axis. OX dash is the negative x axis. Clear? Next to y axis. Positive y axis, negative y axis. How we are defining this now? Y axis which is above the origin. Y axis which is above the origin is called positive y axis. Positive y axis. The y axis which is below the y axis, below the origin, which is below the origin, it is called negative y axis. Negative y axis. Okay. So this is the positive x axis. This is the negative x axis. OX dash. OY is the positive y axis. OY dash is the negative y axis. OY dash is the negative y axis. Okay. This is about coordinate system. Okay. So otherwise Cartesian coordinate system. Okay. Now next to see the point. So how we are representing point in the plane? So how we are writing the point in the plane? If you take an order pair, so then it is called. If you take an order pair in the plane, then it is called point. What is the definition of point? If you order pair taken in the plane, then it is called point. So here the first element in order pair we have two elements, right? X and y. Two elements we have. So x is the first element, y is the second element. X is first element, y is second element. The first element to be called as x coordinate. What is the x? Which is the x coordinate? First element is the x coordinate. Which is the y coordinate? Remaining, that means second coordinate. Second coordinate is the y coordinate. So in the point x comma, which is x, which is y, which is x coordinate, which is y coordinate, we identify. But how we are defining x coordinate? How we are defining y coordinates? You see now. How we are defining x coordinate? How we are defining y coordinate? See here. So this is the point. These coordinates are x comma y. See here, the perpendicular distance from P to y axis, the perpendicular distance from P to y axis is called x coordinate. X coordinate. I understood. The perpendicular distance from P to y axis. The perpendicular distance from P to y axis is called x coordinate. Understood? What is the x coordinate? The perpendicular distance from point to y axis. Point to y axis is x coordinate. Similarly, the perpendicular distance from P to, that means point to x axis. The perpendicular distance from P to x axis, this distance is called y coordinate. This distance is called y coordinate. This distance is called y coordinate. Understood? What is the x coordinate? The perpendicular distance. Perpendicular distance from point P to y axis is x coordinate. Is called x coordinate. Similarly, the perpendicular distance from P to x axis is called y coordinate. Understood? The perpendicular distance from P to y axis, x coordinate. The perpendicular distance from P to x axis, y coordinate. You see the difference? Remember the definition. Okay. So this is the definition of the x coordinate and y coordinate. Okay. So next, see here, positive x axis, negative x axis are given here. Positive x axis and negative x axis. Okay, positive x axis and negative x axis. Positive y axis, negative y axis. This is our positive x axis. This is negative x axis, y axis, negative y axis. Positive y axis, negative y axis. See here, on the positive x axis, we are writing positive real numbers only. On the positive x axis, what we are writing? Positive real numbers only. On the negative x axis, we are writing negative real numbers only. Okay. On positive y axis, we are writing positive real numbers. On negative y axis, we are writing negative real numbers. Okay. So you see now, so up to now, what we studied is enough. Once we recall what we studied now, what we discussed now. Coordinate axis. Coordinate axis. So what is the definition of coordinate axis? Coordinate axis means the mutually perpendicular lines. Consider mutually perpendicular lines in the plane. Then these lines are called coordinate axis. If you consider two mutually perpendicular lines in the plane, then these lines are called what? These lines are called what? Coordinate axis. Coordinate axis. here two lines is there, so two axes we are getting here. So the horizontal line is called x-axis, the horizontal line is called x-axis, the vertical line is called y-axis. Okay, this one here, origin. What is the origin? The point of intersection of coordinate axis. The point of intersection of coordinate axis is called origin, denoted by 4. Okay, next quadrant. What is the definition of quadrant? The two mutually perpendicular lines, divides the plane into 4 equal parts. Then each part is called quadrant, namely first quadrant, second quadrant, third quadrant, and fourth quadrant. This one also we discussed. And coordinates. What is the definition of x coordinate? What is the definition of y coordinate? What is the definition of x coordinate? So, x coordinate, the perpendicular distance from point to y axis, is called x coordinate. The perpendicular distance from point to x axis is called what? Y coordinate. So, this is the point x down. Okay. Next, what is the positive x axis? What is the negative x axis? X axis which lies right side of the origin, is called positive x axis. That's the x axis which lies left side of the origin is called negative x axis. Simple. Positive x axis, negative x axis, positive y axis. So a line, the y axis which is above the origin is called positive y axis, that is OY. The y-axis which is below the origin is called negative y-axis, that is OY dash. On positive axis, the plural form of axis is axis. On the positive axis, we are taking positive real numbers, and negative axis we are taking negative real numbers. Okay, this much we studied now. Okay, we told quadrant, first quadrant, second quadrant, third quadrant, fourth quadrant, right? So how you are defining first quadrant, how you are defining second quadrant, how you are defining fourth quadrant. So how we are defining first quadrant? You see, first quadrant, the region, nothing but area, the region between the positive x-axis and positive y-axis in this region is the first quadrant. What is the first quadrant? So the region between the positive x-axis and positive y-axis. The region between the positive x-axis and positive y-axis is called first quadrant. Now maybe you may define second quadrant, third, fourth. What is the second quadrant definition? The region between the negative x-axis and positive y-axis. Negative x-axis and positive y-axis is the second quadrant. Clear? Now third quadrant. So the region between the negative x-axis and negative y-axis, this area, is the third quadrant. Will you say fourth quadrant? What is the fourth quadrant? So the region between the positive x-axis and negative y-axis, this area between these axes, area is called fourth quadrant. Okay, so now you got clear idea about quadrants, right? Now you see, so the angle on the x-axis, straight line angle here, I'm taking here 0 degrees. Angle here, what I told here, the angle between the what we consider here two mutually perpendicular lines. Perpendicular means what is the angle between them? 90 degrees. If I measure in anti-clockwise direction, here starting is 0 up to here 90 degrees, right? Next again these two also 90 degrees, which are positive y-axis and negative y-axis. So here to here angle is again 90 degrees. Here 90 plus 90, 180 degrees. 180 degrees. 180 degrees on the negative x-axis. Negative x-axis. On positive y-axis 90 degrees. On positive x-axis 0 degrees. Next we come here again 180 is here also perpendicular. So we add again 90. 180 plus 90 is 270 degrees. Okay. Here these two also perpendicular. Again you want 90. So what we are getting? 270 plus 90, 360 degrees. 360 degrees. Where started? From here I started. Completely up to again where I reached at the same point. That means I finished one rotation. I finished one rotation. Okay. If I finished one rotation, we are getting 360 degrees. This is called what? Complete angle. This is what? Complete angle. One rotation is finished. One rotation is finished. Here, these angles are there now. What are they? 0, 90, 180, 270, next to 360, next to dash. If you add next to 360 plus 90, next to plus 90 plus 90, you add those values. So these are the values, these are all the angles where they are presenting. Where they are presenting. You observe this. These are presenting where? On coordinate axis. 90 present in first quadrant and second quadrant. It's not on the first quadrant, it's not on the second quadrant. This 90 degrees separates the quadrants. This 90 degrees separates the quadrants, right? So this 0, 90, this similarly 180 also. 180 separates these two quadrants. 270 separates these two quadrants. 360 separates these two quadrants, right? So which are lies on the coordinate axis, which are lies on the coordinate axis, which angles lies on the coordinate axis. These angles are called what? Coordinate terminal angles. 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 What is the definition of coordinate terminal angles? Which angles are lies on the coordinate axis? Which angles are lies on the coordinate axis? Those angles are called coordinate axis. The coordinate angles. Coordinate angles. Okay? You see, if theta is the acute angle. Acute angle means what? Theta is the acute angle. Acute angle means what? Which is lies between 0 to 90. Which angle is lies between 0 to 90? That means less than half 90. So that angle is called acute angle. Okay. So my theta is lies between 0 to 90 degrees. 0 degrees to 90 degrees. Then 90 minus theta lies in which quadrant? You see here. This is the 90 degrees. Minus. So we are getting in first quadrant. So the first quadrant angle is 90 minus theta. The first quadrant angle is 90 minus theta. This is the 90 degrees. If you add some angle, so we are going to second quadrant. So second quadrant angle is 90 plus theta. This is the 180. You subtract some angle. So where we are getting is in second quadrant. 180 minus theta also lies in second quadrant. Next for 180, if you add some angle, we are getting 180 plus theta in third quadrant. Here 270 is there. You subtract some angle. Where we are getting? So left side. Because we measured in anti-clockwise direction, right? So 270 minus theta. This is the third quadrant. Next to 270 plus theta, it is in fourth quadrant. It is in fourth quadrant. Next, 360 minus theta. Here 360 is there. 360 minus theta. That is in fourth quadrant. 360 plus theta. Again we are getting in first quadrant. Understood? So theta is the acute angle. If theta is acute angle, 90 minus theta in first quadrant, 90 plus theta in second quadrant. 180 minus 180 plus theta is third quadrant, 180 minus is second quadrant. 270 minus is third quadrant, 270 plus is fourth quadrant, 360 minus is fourth quadrant, 360 plus is first quadrant. Okay, if we measure in anti-clockwise direction. So angles, usually angles measured in which direction? Anti-clockwise direction. If you measure in clockwise direction, those angles are called what? Negative angles. Those angles are called what? Negative angles. If you measure theta, if you measure in clockwise direction, so that is minus theta. Where we are getting? Here, if you measure in anti-clockwise direction, positive. If it is clockwise direction, negative. The negative angle lies where? Fourth quadrant. And the theta range is 0 to 90. Okay, so minus theta is in fourth quadrant. Okay, na? So this is about the coordinate system. So in next classes we are discussing in detail of this coordinate system. Okay, so you will watch this complete video once, twice, and once you note down that you write the board's definitions. What is the coordinate system? What is the x-axis? What is the y-axis? What is the positive x-axis? What is the negative x-axis? What is the positive y-axis? What is the negative y-axis? What is the definition of arching? What is the definition of quadrant? What is the definition of first quadrant, second quadrant, third quadrant, fourth quadrant? Okay. Next, what is the definition of coordinate axis? That means x coordinate. What is the definition of x coordinate? What is the definition of y coordinate? Okay, so what is the definition of coordinate terminal angles? Co-terminal angles also we are seeing. So coordinate or terminal angles. So these definitions, you read all these definitions. Once you write down these definitions and you read all these definitions. Okay, in next class we are discussing further. Okay.